Hi, folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. It's quite cold this morning. Negative 10, negative 12. Wind chills, negative 25 or so. But you know what? The creek, I don't know if you I'm going to shut my mouth for a second, see if you can hear. I don't know if you can hear that, but the creek's still flowing. I mean, there's definitely a glaze of ice on top, but I mean, there's still water. I don't know if you can see it. See it? I'm also wearing my fireman turnout pants because this is ridiculously cold. And while these things are quite hot, for those of you that's been in fire service before, they're quite miserably hot to wear in the summertime. But they're really nice to wear in the wintertime because they're nice and thick and insulated. So yeah, forget that. I'm just going to wear it. But it's been quite cold. Hopefully tonight, or this last night was the coldest. Tonight, still expected to get down into the single digits, but not those deep negatives that we got last night. And then after that, Friday, I think we're going to get close to the freezing mark, up in the upper 20s. And then by Sunday, 45, 50. But it's going to take a while for this stuff to melt. I mean, it's deep and the roads are already getting packed down and stuff. So it'll take a bit for this to all clear up. And then, of course, we will have a wonderful mud season because next week we're supposed to be in the low to mid 60s for most of the week. So we're going to go from very, very cold, record-breaking, lots of snow to everything melting really rapidly, and we're just going to be dealing with lots of mud around here. So it's wonderful. Some people like it more than others. I'm not as crazy about it. My wife and children, they think it's wonderful. They've enjoyed it, but me not so much. Anyways, it's kind of the same way with what's going on in the world. Some people enjoy it more than others. Right now, Zelensky's certainly not enjoying it. It appears. Trump came out on his social media site just lambasting. I mean, just ripped Zelensky a new and called him a dictator. Said that he was a, half-rate comedian that made it into a world power and milked billions, hundreds of billions of dollars out of the United States. And I'm not saying I disagree with that. I'm just saying that he really took it to him. There's this whatever's going on. Trump and Russia are working out a peace deal for Ukraine, but keeping Ukraine out of it, which is strange. And Ukraine says that they're not going to agree to anything that they are not part of negotiating. That does seem to be acceptable to me. But I don't know. It seems a little crazy, right? There's a lot of things that are crazy right now, and not all in a bad way. Trump says that they're going to do away with the IRS. There's a lot of people that are saying probably not going to do away with it. I mean, like it not exist. It'll exist in just a very different form. It'll probably be artificial intelligence predominantly, computer software, AI, all that kind of stuff that will be figuring, and honestly, in that kind of department, I would think most of it could be done by computers. That could be a good thing. It could be a really, really bad thing. So that's happening. Trump said that whoever is going to crack open the vault at Fort Knox, and they're gonna see what's in there. They want to know where all the gold is. Now, that's not all the gold that the United States owns. That's interesting, and it's almost like it's I don't know. It's almost like a little game because that's not all the gold that we have. Even if Fort Knox has all the gold that it says that it does, it's not all of our gold. But Fort Knox is the one that everybody knows. You learn about it in school. There's songs written about it. It's the popular one, right? It's the one that the average lay person can say, "Oh yeah, I know about Fort Knox. That's where they have all the gold." So let's bring that one up. I don't know. It just feels like there's, I don't like there's a little game being played. I know every time I say things like that, so many people just come out like, oh, you must be a liberal. I didn't know you switched sides. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if they open those vaults and there's no gold there, you better be ready for a wild roller coaster ride. And maybe that's the plan. Like I said, oh, there's no gold, the dollar collapses. Well, we got to rapidly fix it. Remember, I've said this for the last couple of years about CBDCs, that the average majority bulk of Americans would not accept that. Even people that aren't on the inside and understand things, they're still not going to accept not having paper money and just having digital. They're just not. Unless there was a major crisis that happened and they came to us, the American people, and said, listen, here's the deal. The US dollar is worth less than toilet paper. We're all going to crash and die and burn and all this kind of stuff. We can fix it. It's not what you like, but we can fix it, and it's called digital currency. And if you switch over to that, you'll have money. I get it. You won't like it, but at least it'll save you from all, manners of destruction. I mean, opening the vaults of Fort Knox and seeing them empty could definitely create a scenario like that. So I don't know. It's interesting. There's a lot of other things that are going on that are just seemingly crazy. I mean, just absolutely crazy. I guess they're getting ready to audit also the Pentagon, saying that they want to cut at least 8% out of the Pentagon's budget. And there's talk of taking 20% of all the money saved by Doge and turn around and giving it back to the people. And I know that sounds really great, but if they really are able to come up with tens of billions or hundreds of billions of dollars or trillions of dollars in savings, honestly, I think it would do people better to just put it against the deficit, pay it down, keep the spending down, which would dramatically increase the value of our dollar. Cut this inflation stuff out and get back to sound money. And if we got back to sound money, you wouldn't have to be sending out refunds and all this kind of stuff to people. Your sound money would like you would double your worth. If you got $100 to your name, and all of a sudden $100 bill is actually worth $100, well, my goodness, you'd be worth a lot more, way more than double that or triple that. So I really think that we should go that route. But hey, who am I? I'm just a hillbilly YouTuber. So there's a lot of things going on, a lot of chaotic kind of stuff, a lot of confusing stuff, because it's like every day something new. Every day is something going on. And then there's the stuff like the secondary tier and the tertiary tier stuff that's going on. Like housing crisis in Washington, D.C., and the fact that, unemployment has skyrocketed in Washington, D.C., not just because of Trump firing a bunch of federal employees, but because of all the other types of jobs surrounding federal employees are now being eliminated because they don't need them anymore. There's been reported, I don't know how truthful it is, but there's been reported an increase in violence against immigrants. In fact, there was just in the news a young 11-year-old girl ended up committed suicide because of being attacked verbally by classmates. That kind of stuff is in the news, and I'm sure that's all a game too to be played. It's also interesting that they're not any longer reporting the amount of people that they're kicking out every day because the numbers have gotten so low. In fact, the last daily reports were much lower than numbers during the Biden administration of people getting kicked out. So now they're saying that they're just going to do monthly. They're going to just release the numbers monthly and not daily. But they did declare several Mexican gangs and cartels as terrorist organizations, which now means that they can also do drone strikes against them. And so it's very likely we will see a more aggressive military stance against these Mexican cartels. possibly even in Mexico, sending special forces units and stuff like that into Mexico to deal with these cartels. I'm not opposed to that. I'm just wondering, are they worked out a deal with the CIA? Because the CIA still got to get their cut from these cartels, since they really kind of work for the CIA. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of chaos and confusion going on right now, and that's what worries me. It's not that the actual stuff that's going on is bad. Most of it I'm supportive of. It's that there's a lot of chaos and confusion, and most people don't know what in the world's going on. Where's it headed to? What's the eventual outcome intended to be? Are these agencies going to completely go away? Are they going to be replaced with computers and AI and software and all that kind of stuff? It's a little crazy out there. Are we shifting alliances? We're no longer buddies with Europe. We're now going to be buddies with Russia. It's all over this place, and that's really, to me, that's where the worrisome part comes. I mean, the Bible also says that God is not the author of confusion. And so if things are really confusing, it starts to make me question how much God is involved in all of it. I think just in simplest terms, just because things are chaotic and confusing, and I know I've been on this for days now with videos, but still, we need to kind of wake up and not just be in this, honeymoon phase of like, oh, this is all great. We're getting rid of all these governments things. Well, yes, but like I've said all along, is that while it may be a good thing to get rid of them, there's going to be a chaotic, really bad period. And I've seen so many people, oh, I can handle it. Just as long as we get rid of it, I'll be fine. You don't know that. That's the point. You don't know that. You don't know. This is an institution that's existed for a long time. And just, within a matter of days, ripping it to shreds, it could cause problems that you can't even imagine. And so put aside your love for what's happening and for a moment, and realize that while it may end up being good in the long run, that it could be really, really bad right now in the short term, worse than you can imagine, because we don't know exactly what's going to happen. We don't know exactly how this is going to turn out for people and for everything, because no one's ever conceived of just going in and ripping it apart while it still exists. I mean, there's one thing of it just completely collapsing and not existing, but for the government to exist and yet ripping it to shreds, no one's really ever conceived that kind of idea. And so, I mean, at least not like this. And so we have to understand that things are going to be most likely get crazy. That they kind of already are, but it's going to get worse. There's more and more planes falling out of the sky. I don't think that that's just a coincidence. The bird flu is exploding. Measles is at major outbreaks. Tuberculosis outbreaks. Just the regular flu is killing more people this year than it has in decades. All of these things, and yet, at the same time, now they're saying they're going to ban the COVID. The author and of the COVID, of the Operation Warp Speed, they're now going to do away with COVID vaccine, completely destroy it, get rid of it. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And not that I think it's wrong. It's just crazy to think that this could happen, right? It's not that I think it's crazy that it's happening. It's that it could happen. And what you have to understand, there's still forces opposing this. And so what exactly is going to happen? Well, we don't know. And that's why I'm telling you, need to be getting ready. I'd say we're in the shock phase still. We're only talking a month out from the actual inauguration. So we're still in the shock phase. I'd say probably by next month, by March, April, we're going to start really seeing how this is affecting us. We're going to start seeing opposing forces really kind of organize themselves against this. So next 30, 60 days, we could start seeing some pretty off the wall stuff. And you need to get ready for that. You need to be getting ready, because this is not normal. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not normal. And, a big system that we live under being ripped apart this rapidly could cause a lot of problems. It's time to get your house in order, folks. It's time to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video. I think I'm going to go warm up for a few minutes.